Hey guys, it's Marine here, bringing you another Masterclass badge battle. The map is Karkov, and I'm in my Leo PTA. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the south lot area. I want to try to see and just poke and prod and see if there's any good spots to detect tanks which may be pushing south along into the courtyard area. And so I'm just going to play in this area just a little bit, poke around, see what's up. Play around through these bushes. So what you're going to see me do here is I'm just going to back up slowly so that I can pull just back far enough with a quick hit of my back button so that I can fire from stealth if I need to. I'm going to get pretty antsy here in a second because I didn't spot anything, I want to back off and more or less just seed this area. I am an extremely weak tank one-on-one in this type of environment, and so maintaining my distance from the enemy is really key for my survival. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be pushing up here to the back corner around the C6 area. There's a corner there which allows me to get shots in through this archway in the middle of the building and through the outside down into the field or into the courtyard area where the T-54, T-57 appear to be at this time. So just gonna poke carefully and see what I can see. T-54 very foolishly decided to poke back out while he was still lit to try and get a shot on me. I was able to snap that off a lot more quickly than he could, and I backed off. And so I'm just going to be over here in this area just looking for shots of opportunity. I really don't want to expose my tank more than I have to. And a little fortunate that that went through the lower front plate at that angle, but I'm not going to complain. Now I tried to get cute here and get shots on this JPE, and I quickly realized that's the wrong thing to do. And I seem to kill a lot of dirt with this tank, and I see that the JPE has fire there. I'm going to get a little bit closer to this ledge and just try to very quickly get back up top. Because of the slow reload speeds of this gun, it really forces you to make your shots count and to fire only when the enemy cannot fire back at you. So I figured that E75 would be occupied with this 268, so I didn't bother to check, but you're going to start seeing me check now by looking around the corner, essentially. Unfortunately, tanks are dying around me. And I got a little bit fortunate there that he decided to look away from that corner. And now because I'm here, I am able to get quick shots on this T-54, who is bravely trying to take out this E4. One thing which really frustrates me on this map is currently that it's not optimized for play, and so my frame rates actually drop pretty harsh during this battle. So I don't want to cross this opening just in case the JPE is attempting to go hull down. So I'm just going to back off. And again, just using this corner to try and get shots on the enemy. A little bit unfortunate there, but I can't be too surprised at that bounce given the angle. And so they're not seeming to push on this 268, so I'm just going to screw off. And I want to go try and deal with this Waffle 4 and the T-49. And unfortunately, because I was considering dealing with the E75 and JPE, I loaded heat there when I really didn't need to engage these tanks, which I'm about to engage. But you can see now it's 9/11. As far as tank-wise, I've done 1,600 damage, and I've taken no hits in return. I'm in a good position where I can start using my own health to get some damage off. And here, loading the heat is what really screws me. Because with APCR, that more than likely pens, and there's a good chance that I would roll high enough to kill him. Now I knew I'd take that hit there, but I was willing to take that as long as I could poke back around, or the enemy could get him, make him one shot. And so now, it's a lot rougher of a situation. They have two E75s, and our 268's about to take a dump, so I considered going over here, just hoping that this E75 would have pushed down the street, where I previously was, but he decided instead to go around, and unfortunately he got derped there. And so I'm just going to go back behind this E4 and back him up. The absolute worst thing I could do right now is being off somewhere on my own. And so I'm going to hang back behind this wall to prevent the T-49 from coming up behind and ruining his day. So I'm trying to keep these guys as much in front of me as I can, all the while keeping an eye out for artillery and the T-49 from making a move. Continue to just keep overwatch over the situation, peek and poke odd places, try not to poke at the same time, just in case I do get spotted. Very fortunate that shot hit, but glad to take him out. So glad I already have heat loaded. Thought I had a shot at his lower front, and this E75 is just going to poke over here, and I get a nice shot into the flat portion. And so what I'm hoping to do now is I'm expecting this E75 to charge here, and I'm going to try to track him. But unfortunately, the speed of the E75, it really, when you ever track one, they're going to continue moving forward. And so I'm trying to use this tank to block him from shooting me again, because there's a potential that he could high roll. And fortunately, he low rolls there for only 408. And now it's 1v1. I've done 4 kills with 4,115 damage. Because I preserved my health, I was able to make this kind of move there at the end of this battle. One of the biggest things I had to learn with this tank is just how to position to take damage from the enemy without giving them any of my own. And when it works like a charm. This tank really can work and function. In this type of environment, you just have to play with the utmost care with a lot of really good positioning. And so what I thought the artillery was going to do at that point is I figured that he was going to push, come down here, and then probably push down this way to look either this way or this way. Take away as many venues that he could look at, and to just he really just needs to back himself into the best corner he can if I want to come after him. And so what I decided to do here is get as far north and away from where I assume that or believe that he might be. Zoom in here on these streets to, in case he appears, I can get a quick shot off. Really need to be careful coming around every single one of these corners, because if he clicks anywhere near me, I am absolutely wrecked and he will win the game. So I considered pushing forward through this area, through that gap right there, but decided against it because in case he is looking down that street, I want to be just far enough away that I'll be at the potential edge of his vision range. As you can see, the gameplay is a little bit clunky here, and this is how it looked while I was playing. This map, again, is just pretty awful for optimization. And so, I'm going to go sit here on the cap, and instead of sitting anywhere near that feature, down in the back, or in the hole, I'm going to sit right here. The reason being, if he shows up over here, I can quickly back away. He shows up over here, I can quickly pull forward. Shows up anywhere over there, again, I can very quickly pull backwards and get out of his line of sight. And so this also isn't the typical area that a tank would go when they're capping. You never want to go to a very predictable area. And as you can see, artillery just hit right back there where players would stereotypically hide. So in case you are an artillery clicker, don't fire on structures. Pick a point like at the front of the cap, off to the sides, anywhere that is unconventional, especially if they're a really good player. And so as you can see, I'm just scanning every single which way that I can. Able to get a nice snapshot off it. Now I'm back up to a point where he cannot fire over the building. His gun arc is pretty poor, and he can't hit me by splashing over here or behind me. I'm in a pretty safe zone from his angle, so he has to come at me. He took a very poor snapshot. With that situation though, I really can't blame him, but I was able to pick up the win at the end. As you can see, this was indeed a mastery badge, and I did it without any medals. I did 4,615 damage, 5 kills, with a base experience of 1,246. I finished with a net loss of 3,348 because of the heat, which I did fire there at the end game to help secure the win, but I'm more than willing to take that cost to secure the win. Anyway guys, this was a very fun mastery badge for me in the Leo PTA. It is my second one. I have a lot of really good battles in this lately as I continue to figure it out, and it's actually become one of my favorite tier 9 mediums, and I do intend to keep this tank with this crew. I will just be moving over a different crew from another tank into the Leo one. Anyway guys, this was my mastery badge, and I hope you enjoyed.